Welcome to Citizens Forum. Never have we had a time like this when the think home philosophy was very rife in the Southeast. Of course, so much is said about the story of Igbo, coming from rebuilding with 20 pounds to becoming really the investment specialist in Nigeria, moving from their country home to other regions in search of wealth has also made Igbo prosper. But then right now, with Igbophobia being real, both subtle and brazen, and also an economy of the country that everybody knows, we just have to think about developing states and the economy of states. We'll be having a conversation today around investment in the Southeast. Really, how should this be? How well are we doing this? And if there are impediments, let's also have a conversation around these impediments with view of ensuring that we move them out of the way. I'm ready. My guest is here. He's quite ready. And we bet you're ready. My name is Jude Geoman, and I welcome you to today's edition of Citizens Forum. My guest today on Citizens Forum is Mr. Okechukwu Emecheta. Of course, he is a human resource specialist and a public analyst, and we'll be having a conversation around this. So, welcome once again to Citizens Forum.
Thank you, Jobad.
All right. Now, let's talk, as they will say. In Nigeria today, imagined, real, subtle, brazen, one just can't ignore the wind of Igbophobia blowing around the country. Quite recently in Lagos, we saw the Lagos State Speaker take the microphone and unveil his agenda. And his agenda is clear and simple, to ensure that the indigents, and that's what he thinks, that the rights of the indigents in investment and property must be protected. Coming from a state that yesterday targeted Igbo as one group who should not vote. Of course, that comment raised so much eyebrows. But Lagos is not just the first. Northern Nigeria, two people fight who are not even Igbos, right? Two people have a disagreement. The next thing, Igbos are targeted for killing and their businesses. A Christian somewhere, a northern Christian, says something about Prophet Muhammad, and the next thing, the business are being killed. People can go on and recall, even also Abiola, where no Igbo man contested for that election. But then violence broke out and Igbos were targeted for. So somehow that call has always been for Igbo to come invest. So let's have a conversation around this concept. The first question I'm going to ask you is this: do you think this is a welcome call? Do you think this call is a realistic one?
Thank you very much. I think let's look at the Igbos really.
Okay.
Let's look at the Igbos from where we are coming from. Igbos are evolving. Let's look at from where we are coming. Everybody says the Igbo man loves money. I can tell you, the story is because we are commerce people. We are traders. That is where we started from.
Okay.
From a long time ago, the Igbos were known to be traders.
All right.
So every day you go to the market is populated by Igbos, and all they do is you buy from them, they collect your cash from you,
okay,
and count. When he's counting and you're talking to him, he won't talk to you until he finishes counting the money. And he keeps his money. That mentality, people begin to see the perception that the Igbo man loves money. No, it is not. Everybody loves money. The Igbo man, the Yoruba, the Hausa, everybody loves money.
All right.
But the issue is there that because people see you often counting money. They feel that you love money.
Okay.
That is the perception that people have. And that thing has kept us. That is why, and if you are counting money, if you have cash, always with cash, you are most likely going to lose 1 or 2 naira out of that money. Because when you have cash, to prefer it's very, very easy.
Very easy.
It made the Igbos not to have trust in the next person around him when it comes to money.
Okay.
That's why you have Obi and Sons Limited. He doesn't want to open up his business to anybody.
Okay.
He stays alone because he wants to be sure that the money he's counting does not get lost to anywhere.
Yeah.
But the evolution of the Igbo man started with the Civil War.
Okay.
The Civil War taught the Igbos a lot of lesson. And people started, a lot of people left their abodes in the north, in the west, everywhere, came back home. They didn't have homes to stay. They had to either stay with their cousins, with their uncles, with their... So, you find out that
That's
now...
before the breakout of the Civil War.
Yeah, before the breakout of this, people were not bothered about coming to build, houses, because they are comfortable wherever they were. But the war taught us a little lesson that, look, you have to take something home, how to build something home where you can go and stay. Right. That's why you can see the Igbo man now build one big mansion in the village. Nobody stays there for the whole of the year. He comes back home once or twice in a year, but he's happy. Now
he actually sees it as an investment.
Exactly. Now, let me also tell you that the Igbos have been investing as a community, even before now. If you look at most towns, most communities, check their hospitals, check their schools, their secondary schools, their primary schools. Most of them were built by communities. Have examples of that, even right here in Onitsha. We have almost all the schools built by either the community, the church, the community, or individuals. So people take away, people just think that investment is only when we build industries. No. I think that investments will also take cognition of people who are building schools. Okay. Because when you build schools, you are putting people, you allow people to have access to education. When they have access to education, you are building human capital. Human capital is key to whatever industry you want to build. Because when you bring in the biggest industry here, and you don't have people who can be employed in those industries, it doesn't make any sense.
All right.
So the Igbos have been doing that. They've been building schools, they've been building hospitals, and all that. But because of that lack of trust, it wasn't easy for us to begin to open up our companies, to allow people to come into work with us.
Going public,
work with us, going public, and now take decisions about our company in your absence. They take and say they'll make profit for you. It's quite difficult for a trader who is evolving. But thank God, a lot of them now travel abroad. They go meet the people. The guy you went to China to go and import 40 containers. Begin to see this man has so much money, 40 containers. Why don't I partner with him? Do something with him in his locality.
All right.
And then have cheap labor and they supply him raw materials, right, and he builds. I can tell you a number of our people in Lagos who have these industries, who are partnering with their foreign partners there. At the time this started, at the time this was evolving, it wasn't easy for them to come to build it in their villages. First of all, of course, economics just taught us that. First of all, you think about the nearness of raw materials to where you're producing.
True.
Transportation for distribution.
True.
Those are the things that you need. And you found out that it wasn't easy at that time to do it here in our places. And then we were having power problem also.
All right.
Having power problem here also. So Lagos became a hub for them.
Closeness to the sea.
Closeness to the sea. No, we have one close to us. One is close, but because they have a way.
But Nigeria has not exploited
the
One.
See, I'll tell you, Nigerian government quietly strangulated the One. Because they know that if we begin to move our goods through One, Lagos will have less to do. And the income that they make from the Lagos ports will go down. So the federal government, in their usual policy that keeps us down, stops owning. I can tell you that most of the clearing agents who were staying in Onitsha here then, they were using Owine and Warri ports to bring in goods here. When those areas were blocked, they have to move to Lagos. So government policy, one, is part of the problems that we had. Two, is that because of the our nature, buy and sell, it was not easy for us to go into manufacturing per se. But now they are picking up. We are picking up. We have people who produce soap, toothpaste, noodles. They are all in Lagos. They are all in Lagos. If you look down here now, you see there is Bestie, there is Tommy, there are a lot of industries that are coming down here to start.
All right.
But they still have the power issue to tackle.
Power.
Now, the guy who stays in Lagos, who has a factory in Lagos, wants to bring part of his business here. He's running on diesel in Lagos. For him to run on diesel down here again will be a big problem for him. That's why the government here is saying, come and invest in power and solar. That is solar and gas.
Solar, gas?
Solar and then gas. People should come and invest. Solar and gas. Then so that we can have the industrial clusters can have power. If we're able to get industrial clusters up and there is power, a lot of these men will bring back some of their because the people who patronize them, who come to buy wholesale from them, come from here. They go to Onitsha, they go to Lagos, buy wholesale from them, bring them here, and be able to distribute to Benue, Kogi, and all those other places.
All right.
So if they manufacture here,
that will also cut down costs.
It will cut down costs of transportation from Lagos to this place. So it is easy for them to move. People come every day. If you stay on the express, you see the number of vehicles very loaded that go to Benue, Kogi, Taraba, all those central areas. So the Igbos really are evolving. We are evolving. It's not. So I'm believing that certain infrastructure, when they are operational here, the Igbos are smart businessmen. You don't need to beg them to come because they want to sell their products. They know where to they know where to build their factories, their industries, because they know where the distribution goes to. Don't also forget.
All right.
That moving products from here to Ghana to all those West African countries, is done basically by the Igbos.
All right.
They look at where is nearer to Ghana. Is it Lagos or is it Onitsha?
All right.
Okay. So those things are the things that they will consider before they begin to move some of their. So if you have a factory in Onitsha right now, and they can serve the whole of the southeast, something with Aba, this thing comes on again that the things we produce in Aba, these are produced in Onitsha. Here people call it made in Aba.
It's true. Once it's coming from the southeast, it's made in Aba.
Yes.
True.
And this is good. But I also like what the governor of Anambra State is doing now, promoting our local products. Saying the Akwete Hiwias and all that. He's trying to tell us, if you produce here, we will help you market and sell it here. Let's look at the critical mass.
All right.
In the southeast. How many people live in the southeast? Let's take 3 times 5, 15 million. Let's just say 15 million people. And you produce something. Yes, in the southeast. Let's leave it at that, which I know is not true. But let's leave it at that. 15 million people live in the southeast. Much more than that. Now you produce a product here. And out of these 15 million people, 5 million patronize you here, you will not be poor.
All right. True.
So, first of all, we here must be able to accept to buy what we produce in this place. Somebody says, "Oh, I won't buy Tommy. I'll buy Indomie. Tommy is a Newi. Indomie is Lagos." He buys not because there is anything different from the two products, just because of where it was manufactured. You know. So I think the Igbos are evolving. We are coming home gradually, and people are beginning to invest here. People like somebody like Oscharis has a 7 by 7 kilometer rice factory in Anako.
All right.
And he's doing well. He also have a bagging, what is it called? Silo, where they pack these things, and they bag them there from from there. So you find out that there is chain, the value chain of whatever he is doing, he cascades down to the sack that they use. So if you are smart and you come and open a sack factory around, somebody will buy it off you.
All right.
And also don't forget that people cultivate rice now in the whole of Anambra State, and people go and buy them off raw and go and mill them and bag and put their names on them. So if you look at the value chain and and go and begin to open a bag factory, people who buy them off are here to
within the southeast.
Yeah, within the southeast will buy, because you can now move it to any part of the southeast. Same thing in Abakaliki, where they have rice cultivation at its highest stage. So if you open a bag factory here, you can sell. So I know that Igbos are smart. When these things begin to happen, you will see them come back and begin to invest.
You kept on insisting that the Igbos are smart, and you made it very clear that a businessman will always follow where the money is, as it were, and so we always look at where the opportunities are. We look at where the market is. We look at where the facilities are. One thing you pointed out was power. And you painted a vivid picture of somebody running on diesel, because if you want to diversify, then you want to have one here and one there.
Yeah.
And so if you just the cost of diesel, Nigerians know the cost of petrol, so nobody needs to remind anybody what it means to run two factories right now. I'm going to take you up on the things that need to be put in place in the southeast for this message to really sink in the hearts of the target audience, and that is investors, Igbo investors whose business are out of the southeast. I'm looking at all of the things you're talking about, and one word comes to my mind, and that is regional cooperation. Okay, how do we begin? We've not begun. We need to be sincere to ourselves. We've not begun. How do we begin this journey of regional integration, where the 5 states come together to say, where is it better to have this? And not, what we've done in the past all over Nigeria, where there is an airport in Kaduna and Katsina want to have an airport. Rather than looking at, okay, Kaduna has an airport, should Katsina provide this, right? How do we begin to have this regional cooperation that says, we want investment to come back here? Let's have this here. Let's contribute resources this year. Let's, maybe by way of legislation, the 5 House of Assemblies come together. Do we have some kind of legislation that also encourages, because you can't avoid that, legislation also drives business. Exactly. Let's do this. Let's also say, okay, because of the closeness or proximity of this, because we have more people skilled in maybe whatever kind of production, it might be steel production, can we begin to cite this here? How do we begin this journey? Also remembering that in the last days of the administration of the former President Muhammadu Buhari, by way of legislation, they've removed that bottleneck around power and rail lines, and now it's now in the concurrent list. So states can also begin to have this investment. How can we take advantage of that?
Our basic problem is leadership. People are selfish about what they're doing. They're not thinking about us. They're thinking about them. Who is the leader? In the 5 Eastern governors, 5 Southeastern governors, who is the leader?
Who is the leader, yeah.
Who says things and it works? Look at security. We spoke about Ibubago. The five Eastern governors came together,
yeah,
and said they want to start a security outfit that can take care of the whole of the Southeast. It didn't work. Why didn't it work? It didn't work because, who said it should be Ibubago? Okay, that means somebody can now run from Ebonyi and run into Anambra. Because if you have a holistic security apparatus, it will be easy for you
to share intel.
So our basic problem is, and that was.
And let's also remember that the Southeast governors had this meeting, came up with this name before the Southwest governors even sat down for the first time about Amotekun.
Exactly. so yeah, now I'm saying they are more politically savvy than we are. Than we are. I think our real problem is leadership. If we have good leaders as governors, if they subsume their personal egos and come together and say, what do we do for the Southeast? Anambra, you are good in fishing.
Yeah.
Please supply all of us all the fish.
Yeah.
Ebonyi, you are good in yam and rice. Supply us all the rice and the yam. Abia, you are more technologically driven than we are. Please produce all the clothes and all the shoes, and we'll distribute it around the whole thing. See, which one do you have competitive advantage over the other? They sit down and agree. But because somebody will say, no, you want them to come and now say they are now supplying us fish when I can get fish in Imo River.
Yeah.
No. It's not about you. It's not about Igbo supplying us rice and yam. Well, there is yam here, there is rice here. But if they come together and put resources together. While you are doing your subsistence farming here,
yeah,
we are doing a more holistic, commercialized agriculture.
Yeah.
And they will be all part of it. You can hand it over to a company. It must not be run like the Wema business in the Southwest. They didn't. It's not the state government that are running it.
It's not the state government.
You just have your shares there and give it to professionals to run for you. They have these things running for them, and every day they are discussing how do we have links, road links, infrastructure road links, across so that we can get to meet ourselves as often as possible. Now, if Aba, nobody is saying that Taylor in Onitsha should not
exist.
So no. What we are saying that now we be comfortable that when the Aba is producing these clothes, people today still from Onitsha, everywhere go to Aba to go and buy clothes that they sell. Okay, so why don't we make it? Look, they can do this thing. Why don't we encourage them to do it more? Shoes, they manufacture shoes in Aba, very good shoes.
True.
They do in Onitsha here too. So why don't we encourage the areas that we know they have competitive advantage over the others and say, look, let us do this thing and have a holistic Southeast development. So it becomes leadership problem. If we're able to get leaders who subsume their personal interest and ego, maybe the Southeast will begin to see a revolution amongst them.
You chose your words carefully. A revolution amongst them.
Yes.
True.
And it will help us to get things to begin to move quietly. And then I also think about having to this employment. I remember one time other people sacked everybody, all the teachers who came from Anambra State.
That's true.
Now it shouldn't happen. That's why if you go to Lagos, why all these people who are talking about preparing law, preparing this to protect the indigenous, they're not indigenous of Lagos State.
True.
If you come to Lagos, I can give you the Lai Mohammed was a commissioner in Lagos State. He came from Kwara. Ali Bashila was a commissioner in Lagos State. He came from Washu. Fayemi was a commissioner in Lagos State. He came from Ekiti. So you find out that if we begin to think that way, that is easy. Judge Mualalo then was a DG in United States when Obanyono was a governor. If we keep replicating this, it will be easy for us to begin to interact as well, not to see, oh, Onyaboy Anambra. Why must Anambra produce another senior president? Why must he be from Edo? I mean, why must he be from Eboyi? Why must he be from Imo? You know, if we begin to take away those kind of thoughts from us, and the way we can do it is by having our leaders show us the way. Leadership. You know, if I hear that my governor went to Enugu State and slept over in Enugu State, I see pictures with the governor of Enugu State discussing the interest of the Igbos, the Southeast. I'll feel happy. When I go to Enugu, I'll feel free. I'll say, oh, yeah, I mean, we are friends.
We are friends, yeah, we're friends.
You know? So that is basically part of what the problem that we have. Now, the governor of APGA State should stop seeing himself as a Labour governor. He should see himself as an Igbo governor. The man in Anambra should stop seeing himself as a governor of APGA, the governor of Igbo. They come together. Then the APC man in Imo should stop thinking that, oh, these people are not my people.
I'm connected to the center.
So these people are not. Call your brothers. Come. I'm connected to the center. What can we do together? So we can push you to the center to get us to get things to do.
True.
Party are just vehicles that people use in getting to their destinations.
What
is your destination? Because destination will be, what have you delivered?
All right.
You know, if they vote you in through APC and you don't deliver anything, you are telling us that you have a center thing. Doesn't make any sense to us. If you are in APGA and you have only one state and you're able to develop the place, people will begin to see, yes, this is the kind of development that we want. So I think it is time for our leaders, because give and take, the governors are our leaders. So if they should hope to come. In fact, when we saw them in the last meeting that they had a meeting sometime.
I think that was in Enugu.
In Enugu? Yes.
I saw the pictures.
Yes.
But I'm sorry to say this, even on air, I said to myself, this is not the first time I've seen this move. I will not comment on this until I start seeing, what this bear fruit. Yeah, because this seems to be the normal thing they do. Even though I commend it's a first good step, but the second step matters a lot.
That's why we said we keep commending them so that they will know that it's the right thing for them to do.
Yeah.
We need to see them again and again and again. Talk about the Southeast. Talk about the regional side. Let's take away this mentality of a party from their.
Now, let me ask you this question, because you nailed it. I couldn't, you nailed it. Leadership. Now let's move to some of the still on attitude, because leadership, you pointed out attitude. That is what you did, and culture. Now let's say something. There's something we need to remind ourselves, even as Nigerians, and that is, it is from the people that we get resources for leadership.
Yes.
We can't avoid that. When we are talking about the evolution of Igbo, you talked about this phenomenon of Obi and Sons.
Yes.
Okay?
Yes.
And you said, for no fault of anybody, it's part of our evolution, because our people will say, if you don't know where the rain started, you will know where it stops. So you pointed out where it started,
yes,
and where we started having issues of trust. But then, in this evolution, because evolution is a journey, we've gotten to the point where we've made individual wealth considerably. And individual wealth gets to the ceiling and it has no way out but one. And that is fall back and destroy the very wealth you've created. We get into that. we are getting to that point. It's already happening. We're getting to that point where we are becoming victims of our own success. And you see that play out in politics. And like you said, one of the problems we have is policy. In the area of policy making, in the usual Nigerian states manner of using policy to destroy the Igbo man, right?
Yeah.
Okay, now we've gotten to this point also where our individualness, I don't want to say selfish, but that individualness cannot move us out of this room. How do we begin to, and this is a problem, so I just want a solution to this. How do we begin to change that mindset that says, to progress from here, you must cooperate, whether you like it or not? How do we begin to sell this narrative to Igbo?
It begins to happen. Now, I can tell you that the Igbos have really moved away from one-man business.
Okay.
They have. Because if you check, somebody like Peter Obi, His Excellency Peter Obi, has good shares in Fidelity Bank. That means he put his money on trust to a bank. In a bank. That means not just him. I just gave him as an example. People are beginning to put their money, their cash, like people who are buying wholesale from PZ, or people who make the peak milk. You are buying. The company will encourage you. You have made so much money. Why don't you put some money and become a director here? People are beginning to do it. So if you look around, you will see Kocharis was an executive director in was it Access Bank or one of the banks? I think Access Bank also. That will tell you people begin to move away from the Obi and Sons.
All right.
Very well. They are going to invest their money in companies that they believe that people who are there competent to handle their money and give them returns.
Yeah.
Okay, so that is the first ceiling that we have broken, and I'm happy that people are gone into that.
All right.
Now the next one is Obi, Onyeka, and Chinedu. We have so much money. Why don't the three of you come together?
Come together, since you
yes.
field, yeah.
Yes, the three of you should just be directors. Bring your money, call experts, and said we have 3 billion. What can we do with it? You know, let me give you one example. People like Beckham, who played football in Daily, they don't touch their money. They don't. All they do is get the money, put it to experts. They say, look, there is real estate. Let's invest on real estate. I say, fine. All I need is to get my returns. They invest on real estate and give him all the documentation and they do that. So if our people can begin to come together, Nobi Kubanas, I have to call names just to give you an example of what I'm talking about. They come together and they say, look, we have so much money, this amount of money. Instead of us buying Rolls Royce and Cadillac and building marble houses, why don't we put this money down, call experts, and they will do something for us. Let them come back. See, they don't need to come back to the east themselves to come and build. Give it to people who are already experts.
Send the money on their
Send the money on an errand.
Yeah.
They will come here, build a factory. They will go to Abia, build a factory. They will go to like yam now. If Ebonyi, we have some people who will say, let's do yam flour. They go to Ebonyi, set up a factory. Look, all the yam you produce in Ebonyi, bring it here, we'll buy. But this is the kind of species that we want. Give you the species, produce it for us. Bring them here, we'll buy them, use them, produce yam flour, and they distribute. They will even sell it abroad. Okay, so that basic thing that we need now is our people coming together by themselves. Themselves, and they're starting something.
All right, I think that's a wonderful place to put this on pause. Why I will take phone calls from the audience. A very wonderful explanation, and I'll tell anybody who needs to pick your brain to come consult me. All I charge is 10%. That's all I charge, 10%. All right, thank you very much, Chief Okechukwu Emecheta, for really doing justice to this topic. Of course, the phone lines. If you're on television, the phone lines will appear on the screen right now. And these are the numbers to call to be a part of the program. Of course, for those on radio, 0903919 09039195402, and 09021877307. 09021877307. Still Jude Geoman on Citizens Forum on Sapientia. Hello. Oh, sorry, we lost that call. 09039195402, 09021877307. Hello. All right. While we wait for that phone call, let's just talk about this. Let's talk about, do we have a problem with policy in the Southeast? Do you see that, in the 5 Southeast states? Do you think there are harsh policies that do not encourage this kind of repatriation? Let's pick this. All right, that gone. Do you see that?
I don't really see it around the Southeast because all the governors are really want investors to come to their various states.
All right.
So there are no harsh. In fact, some governors are prepared to even give tax free. If you want to bring in big business, they give you tax free.
How does tax free work? How does it tax free?
Yeah, tax free. We'll give you for the
or reduction, tax reduction, tax.
No, tax free. Tax free. Give you because you are starting. We'll give you the first 3 years. You don't pay any tax.
Okay. For a period of time.
Yeah, for a period of time.
All right. Hello.
Hello. Good morning.
Yeah, welcome to the program, sir.
Yeah, thank you. My name is Dominic speaking. I'm calling from.
You're welcome, Dominic.
All right. I am listening to what people are saying.
Can you be more audible, Mr. Dominic?
Yeah, I said I've been listening to what people are talking about.
Yeah.
It is a wonderful topic. So, but there are some problems that actually that is actually a very big problem in South.
Okay.
Number one is enabling environment.
Is what, sorry?
When I say enabling environment, can you hear me?
Yes, go ahead.
Yeah. The enabling environment is always the major problem that we are having in South. That is number one. And the government itself are not helping matters when it comes to development. There was this day I was listening to a program sometime last year in Channel Television where they were interviewing a lady that is a real estate developer, which she said that they came up with a program, a package that was supposed to be for the development of real estate in Anambra State. It's just I can't remember specifically the name of the lady and the name of the real estate that they were trying to develop.
Okay.
But she categorically said that when they came, it was a $500 and something million worth of project, which they were about to site somewhere in Oka towards that Amanti axis. That they've already paid for the land, but when they came down to start the project, a lot of bureaucracy scraped up, which has to do with the people, the indigenous. They now started having issues that made that particular project not to work out. She made mention that they have similar projects in Kaduna, they have it in Kano, and they are about to start in Enugu.
Okay.
But where they actually wanted to start the project without its strength was in Anambra State. So when she was trying to explain that in Kaduna, the successes that they had was that the government itself were the people, that's the state government, were the people that created the road, the access road from the major city into that particular area. I don't know if you are getting what I'm saying.
We can hear you, yeah.
Yeah. So the state government gave them the enabling environment by creating roads from the city into that particular area. Their own is now to begin the structural aspect of the estate. And it was a success. So now you can imagine when somebody has 3 billion naira, so to say, just like one of your colleagues there saying, and you have to think about half of it to create an access road to wherever you want to site that project. You find out that before you even finish the access road to that particular area, the location, because you cannot find such land in an open place that is very close to the sea. It cannot be that cheap. So before you could be able to get a land that is that massive for you to do such a product, it has to be inside. And for you to create a road, standard road, that will lead to that particular location, maybe half of the money you wanted to invest must have gone to create those roads. So the government are the key partners in such projects to arrive. If you go to every other state in Nigeria, you find out that the state government, they usually create that enabling environment. When you come to Lagos, you find out that even in swamps, you see our people. I'm talking about the Southerners, being the people that are the key people that are superseding this real estate project. But the government used to create roads to that particular area. You now find it very easy to just buy a land and start project. So enabling environment is the major problem that we're having in house.
All right. Thank you. He raised two issues. One of them is a heavy one, and that is when people want to invest in the southeast, the indigents, Amala, whatever they call themselves different names in different places, always present themselves as bottlenecks, and government has not been able to check that. The other one was, direct support of investments, like he gave an example with Kaduna. How do you respond to this?
Now, let me start by saying that before you get land for an estate, there will be an MOU between you and government. Now, some people want to come and say, just show us the land. We'll do the access, we'll do whatever we want to do with the land. ASIPA, that is a government agency that handles investments in Anambra State. If you go through them and said, and government allocates a land for you, you enter into an MOU with them.
With ASIPA.
They want to know, what are you building? What kind of estate are you building? If government will get involved in the estate, government will have to create access roads for you. It's not free. You will also accept that government will take 5% shares for that estate, because who is going to manage the estate? Government will take 5% shares of it. Government is not free. Government will need to get back the taxpayers' money they are putting on you. So, if you say, government, come and create access roads for us, you will give them the map of what you want to build. If you show proof from a bank that you have this money to invest, I see what happens in Anambra State. People come here, come with bogus proposals. They are giving land and they begin to sell the land. If you want to build an estate, what you should do?
I don't understand. Is that they come to, because why I have to ask this question is that I've come across, or we've had so many land revocation, right?
That's where I'm going to.
It's even ongoing, right?
That's where I'm going to. That's where I'm really going to.
Okay.
People come to government, write big proposals. They want to build this, they want to build that. Government gives them land.
So in the proposals, are they saying when they build is going to be for?
They will be that they want to build and sell. Okay. Or they want to build and rent.
Okay. They want to develop it.
They want to develop themselves. That's what the real estate should be.
Okay. Develop it and then
Yes, that's what if you want to do real estate.
Real estate. That's true.
You should. Is that you have two ways to do it. Either this infrastructure that he's talking about, road infrastructure and all that. You do it. Give government the kind of buildings I want to do there. Show them. Then if you want to sell, anybody who comes, you show them this is what you want to build.
Yes, a model. Yeah, true.
Then you can build. Then some will come and say, we will build. They give them land. Instead of building, they demarcate the lands and begin to sell them to people.
Okay.
People just come and build whatever they want to build, they just build. You know? Some people have bought this land for a very long time and they cannot develop them. The government is revoking them. But that's not the essence of giving you the land.
Okay.
Okay? I understand what he's saying. The other problem we have, the money letting is in Lagos. It's also here in Anambra State. You complain about Anambra State. I don't know about the other southeastern states. But anywhere you go in Oka now, even if you have had an agreement with even the villagers, you buy from them. The moment you bring in your tractor there, the young boys will come in and say they are the youths. They are the youths. And you cannot build unless you pay them. And you pay them and you move away. And they move away, and that's it will come. It's frustrating. Now, government, you report to the police. They didn't come with gun, they didn't come with a knife. They came that you should pay them money. The police will not even know why they are arresting them in the first place. What are they arresting them for? You know, so yeah, there's a whole lot, there's that bottleneck there. But government of this Anambra right now that I know is fathoming something around that. That if they see you on any land given by government, we have vigilantes, we have Anambra State vigilantes, we can pick you up.
Now, I'll ask this question because it strikes at the heart of governance. You mentioned trust. Okay. It's how do we get to that point where people know for sure that there is government? It's just let's even look at the family setting. When a father is involved in the life of his family, when an elder one, for instance, whoever just strikes the other one, when the stronger one strikes the weaker one, the weaker one says, "I'll tell daddy." You get the point. But unfortunately, when you go to families where the father is aloof, the younger ones will have to learn to you use me, I hit back, right? And nobody can threaten, not even mommy can threaten them without telling daddy because they know daddy is aloof, right? So how do we get to, and this is really a Southeast problem.
Yes.
Okay? We all do not condone this, but then it happens in broad daylight. How do we begin to correct what has been happening to the extent that I'm a developer? I know if this happens to me, because it's so bad that if you want to renovate your house right now, if you want to renovate your shop, if you want to fix your gutter, I mean, you look at, we encourage people on radio, we say, you don't have to wait for government for everything. Your gutter, for instance, they tell you, want to do it, and then these boys come around. So how do we know, how can we be assured that the government is a phone call away? There is an agency that is a phone call away, and this agency will deal ruthlessly with anybody. How do we begin to revive this confidence? Because that's also one of the things that will definitely drive investment back to the Southeast.
I'll give you one simple example.
All right.
Somebody who was said he was caught by the APGA people somewhere, and then they still going to their office, and the man said, no, just tell me, let me just settle this thing here. I don't want to go to anywhere. And he gives them 10,000 naira. And I was telling the story, I told him that he was very, very stupid. I said, why don't you go to the office and prove that you are right? Now, the problem we have is the laziness of going away to go and report. And that trust issue is also there. Who do you call? You call the police? Now, the situation of the insecurity around has made the police to even be scared of taking some distress calls because they don't know whether they are being set up.
Yeah.
Now, if it is the area boys' business, the youth business, most of the time they have a youth leader.
Okay.
Do you know that you have a youth leader? If they come and say, oh, if you put blocks around in front of your house now they want to do something, they'll just land and say, don't build anything here unless you give us money. Okay?
Yeah.
Now, what you do, find out who the leader is in that vicinity and go and tell him, if these boys come back here, I'll come and arrest you. Take your boys back. Tell them not to come here again. Okay? But some of these boys have been so emboldened.
They are.
They have been so emboldened. I say, which police, which court are you taking us to? If court, let's go to court. I'll go to prison and come out again now. Okay? But that is why we said enlightenment, we need to continue. When I was doing something in government, I know that I turned two boys who were doing area boys in Onitsha, who said they are Onitsha, what is it called? Ado youths. Ado youths.
Okay.
And they were doing this thing, you want to do something, they come and I called them and said, look, this thing you're doing, you can why don't you do other thing like this? And they said, is it possible? I said, yes. Start it. I'm in that business. Start it. I can help you get it done.
All right.
While you are doing it, we'll help you register formally. But instead of harassing people, how about your children? When they grow up, what would they say that their dad is doing? How do you is it what you're doing now is going to pay their school fees and all that? They started that, two of them started that business here in Onitsha, and they are doing well. One of them calls me often and say, "Oh, okay,
you don't want to tell me the business. Am I going to?"
Okay, thank you. But you know, we need to begin to enlighten them. It's not a lifestyle. It's not something that you live with. You know, it's not something that you live with. The Omonile in Lagos is almost dying off now because inside the towns, all the houses have been built up. So if you're Omonile inside the town, you can't have any land to sell. You won't have anybody to go and harass anymore. Right? What is happening now to us is that because we are building up, the boys think they can make money out of it. They're making money out of it.
Yeah.
They even sell people's land. They harass people who run away. They go and sell their land and use it to buy big cars and all that. So we need to enlighten people. Just like you said, government need to step up enlightenment on that. Like government need to step up arrests on that.
Yeah, present.
President. Government has to show their presence. It's just like what they're telling us about Agburus in Onitsha. Government is doing so much to take them out of the streets. You know, the government needs to be talking about it, letting people do the arrest, do all that, so that people can begin to build trust in government.
All right, that's a wonderful one. In all, anytime I have people like you here in the studio, I always throw the challenge. You know, I throw the challenge because there is no other person to do it but us. And just to remind you of the role you must play, not only in the life, you gave an example of what you did with those young men, but as it has to do with also talking to established Igbo, talking to that you have access to these guys, you can't pretend you don't, you know, talking to these political leaders, the need for all of these things we just discussed today, because it's going to go a long way to solving so many of the problems, including insecurity in the Southeast. When we have this investment, when we develop capacity, we have investments, people are gainfully employed. I mean, nobody wants to be the odd man out who goes to stand in the sun when their mates are doing something productive. And I want to thank you for really coming to the program today. Chief Okechukwu Emecheta, thank you.
Thank you so much.
Very short notice, and you came all the way from Oka. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Geoman. Thank you.
All right, and the special thank you goes to you, of course, for being a part of this. Just hanging on, listening to the program. We say thank you. Always supporting Sapientia in everything we do. Citizens Forum will be here, same time, same station next week. I'm Jude Geoman. Have a blessed day. Happy New Month.